joined by all of our partners from the EDUmake project. So we'll introduce them to you one by one in a moment as we go through the various presentations that they're going to give. But of course, we also want to have some time for discussion and opportunities for breakout sessions this afternoon. So here, as you can see on the screen, is the lineup for this afternoon. We're going to start with a presentation by Tim from VRT in Belgium, who is the coordinator of this project, but who will also be introducing us to the EDUbox on politics. We then will have Louis and Sanne from Mediawijs talking about their localization experiences here in Belgium, followed by Igor and Stela talking about their localization experiences in Croatia, and then Annique from Schooltv in the Netherlands. So the session this afternoon is really all about this topic of localization of educational resources. So we hope you're going to have plenty of opportunities to discuss and to share your ideas, and also ask questions, get feedback from our team members who've been busy on this project for over a year now. So that any further ado, we'll start with our first presentation, and that is coming from Tim. So over to you, Tim.
Inspirerende middagsessie. Van zaken die heel erg
Can we ask you to switch off your mic, please?
Ontwikkeling met van Antwerpen en zo.
Sorry, we have somebody with a mic on. Thanks, Ramsey. That's great. Tim, over to you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Sally, for the introduction. Hopefully you can all see my presentation. Perfect. Yeah, I will give you an intro to EDUmake, which is a Creative Europe project where we are trying to internationalize an existing format called EDUbox. Now my slides, it needs a little bit of time. So, okay, what was the initial ambition or mission of EDUmake? Like I said, it's about internationalizing the concept of EDUbox. I will talk about a little bit more later on. And creating a kind of easy to use format so that other organizations can easily translate or contextualize existing EDUbox lesson packages. And of course, we also have created our a joint EDUbox about European policy in the run-up to the elections this year. So we had three clear objectives. It was trying to train the other partners in the project, which is the Schooltv from the Netherlands and University of Zagreb. And first of all, they have translated and contextualized 2 existing EDUboxes. So it was a good warm-up to get to know the concept of EDUbox, also to figure out what is needed to contextualize, what do we need to change. It's more than just translation. You need to think also about other aspects. So it was a good warm-up. And I probably they will talk about these contextualizations in their own presentation. So next to the warm-up, it was all about trying to figure out, okay, what are the ingredients of this EDUbox and how can we translate those ingredients in a kind of very easy to use toolkit toolkit so that other organizations have the tools, have the information to make it on their own. That's currently work in progress. But I think it's very interesting. I'm looking forward to the end results. And then the third objective, that's actually the new EDUbox that you've created. It's called EDUbox Politics, and we will talk about that later on. Okay, but I'm talking about EDUboxes. What is it? What is that in God's name? Actually, it's a format that we have started 5 years ago at the Flemish public broadcaster, and it was the idea of how can we reach out to youngsters that are in schools, that are in classrooms, and not just by creating a TV format and send it out at a specific hour or just an audiovisual format. No, we wanted to do something that fits into the practice of a teacher, into the classrooms. So actually it has become a kind of combination of storytelling, pedagogical activities, and technology. And it all came together into a box. First of all, it was a physical box, but now the last couple of years we have actually translated that in a digital online experience. And it was all about how can we introduce a contemporary topic, for example, like sexting, fake news, artificial intelligence, and so on. And how can we tell that in 2 lesson hours in a very easy, down-to-earth way and make it also fun and engaging? That was our whole, that was the ambition. And like you see on this slide, yeah, it's always a combination of smartly chosen applications. You can see in the middle a kind of simulator, but we also create our own videos that are part of the EDUbox. And also, of course, there is some slides and infographics. And that combination makes it a truly wonderful experience. So yeah, that's the EDUbox. And like I've said, the NTR and University of Zagreb have already contextualized some versions, and you see that they have all taken a different approach, which is totally fine, which is what's also very learnful for us. For example, NTR have created a kind of chatbot, and Croatia has more or less used the same format that we have used. That's about the toolkit. It consists of a kind of design guidelines, framework, but also some digital tools, but I will not go into depth here. And then, yeah, the third object, that was the shared EDUbox about politics. And an EDUbox always consists of 4 parts. In the first, we want to connect to the audience. In the second, we will introduce new concepts. In the third, there is an exercise where you have to yeah, do the things you have learned in the previous parts, and we end with a conclusion. But yeah, I will not spoil everything here, but that's how we have done it. And yeah, actually what we have created is not 1 version, but actually 4 versions. We have created an international version, an English version that is that you can use on the it's that you can use as is. But we also have translated into a version for Flanders, which we will talk about a little bit more. Then the Netherlands have created their own version, and then also Croatia. And that's actually the topic of today, is how have we done those translations, those contextualizations. But know that there are now 4 versions, and we hope there will become more from other countries. So if you have questions, please contact us after this session. And I will conclude it here.
Thank you, Tim. And sorry, I failed the moderator test earlier by introducing it the wrong way around. Tim was presenting the overall approach in the EDUmake project. And in fact, it's going to be Louis who's going to take us into the EDUmake, the EDUbox and politics. So welcome. Thanks, Tim. You can stop sharing. Welcome to those of you who have joined in the meantime. Connor, it's great to see you joining us. Good to see old friends joining these sessions. Looking forward to having you with us for the rest of the session. Of course, what we will be doing is we will be having breakouts with each of our presentation teams. So you will have a chance for more interactive sessions. But before we go any further, then I'd like to hand over to Louis, who's going to take us to the EDUbox on politics. So Louis Demeulenaere from Mediawijs here in Belgium. Over to you, Louis.
Thank you, Sally. Hope everyone can hear me just fine.
Yep.
Let me share my screen. Share screen. Okay. Share. This one. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, so within the EDUmake project, one of the things we made is an EDUbox on politics, where we first made a generic one and later on contextualized it by each of the partners. So there's a contextualized version for Belgium, for Croatia, and the Netherlands. But maybe first of all, why an EDUbox on politics? So as you all know, this year in 2024, we have the European elections for the European Parliament taking place from 6th to 9th of June. And in most member states, the age at what people can vote starts at 18 years old. There's also some member states where youngsters can vote from 16 years old, increased to 17 years old. So we see there's a growing group of young people who have a say in what policy in Europe should be like. When we started with the EDUbox Politics, we had a lot of ideas, we had a lot of brainstorms on what should be included, what direction should we take. We were thinking about, okay, maybe we have to explain on why voting is important, how does voting work, what are the different EU institutions, what are their roles. But when going into that direction, it already becomes very complex immediately. So we thought maybe we have to take a step back. We have to really go back to basics. We have to give an insight for youngsters on what is politics and why is it important. If they go voting, what happens with their vote and how does it contribute to policies? And yeah, what are ways for young people besides voting and how to participate in politics? So really to make these young people understand the basics. And what we also try to do is really try to bust the myth on if young people are really that disengaged from politics as thought by many people. So in the EDUbox Politics, really try to focus on the basics. With the goal really to give a basic insight into the complexity of politics and the political system, and also showing young people how they can influence it. So we really try to explain the notion of politics in an easy way, an accessible way, and with as much we try to link it to their life world, to their world as much as possible to really make them understand the concept. As Tim already explained, there are 4 main chapters in EDUbox in general. And the first chapter also is the connect phase, where we try to connect a concept really with some recognizable things from the world of youngsters. So here, for example, we try to compare politics to a school party, organizing a school party, which might seem a little bit strange, but when you think of it, people have to make decisions on their own, decisions together. They have to find solutions, they have to find agreements. So by comparing the concept of a school party to politics, we try to make them understand what politics is about. Then in the second chapter, which is more the concept phase, we try to delve a little bit deeper into the concept of politics, focusing on political vision, political communication, and the political system. And for the political vision part and political communication part, we also made additional EDUboxes. So for those who really want to delve a bit deeper. So for example, we focus on how different political opinions arise, how politicians try to how they try to convince people, and then also the third part, political system, giving an insight in how the political system works and what makes the decision making so complex, and also trying to explain here what happens with their votes and how it contributes to policy. In the third chapter, we have a tool in which youngsters collaborate in an effective country. They try to collaborate as ministers. They have different situations arising. They have to find solutions. They have to agree on something, and they have to. They have a certain budget they have to manage. So the tool really focuses all on working together, finding solutions, finding agreements. That's the third phase, and then in the fourth chapter, we focus on participation. So besides voting, what are other ways to participate into politics? By example, by starting a petition, joining youth council, and so on. And then there's a last chapter with some more information, but we'll delve deeper into each of these chapters later on in the breakout rooms. But just to give you a quick overview of what the EDUbox Politics is all about.
Thank you, Louis. Thanks for the overview, and indeed we'll go into it in a little bit detail, but we want to move on then to Annique from Schooltv in the Netherlands, about their experience in the Netherlands of localizing the EDUboxes in general. So Annique, over to you.
Yes, I'll just start the screen share. Now we got used to this. Okay, if I see myself too, that's fine. Hi guys. So I will be presenting about what we in the Netherlands did when contextualizing our EDUboxes. We started off with the Flemish concept of an EDUbox, and what we really enjoyed about this concept was, I think one of the EDUboxes has an interactive video, and we really like the interactive part of it. So that's how we came up with a chatbot. So in our versions, you chat with an expert, and that's the way you learn more about the subjects. So I should quickly introduce myself. My name is Annique Reinink, as Sally introduced me already. I'm an editor for Schooltv.nl. We're part of the public broadcaster in the Netherlands. And we make products, mostly video, but also other products for primary and secondary schools in the Netherlands. So we started off the contextualization with seeing what topics we were about to use. And we based it on, I cannot see my own thing. Yes, thank you. That was fun when they're blocking your own presentation, but it's fixed. So we based it on the very interactive elements of the EDUbox that were already in the Flemish version. We really enjoyed seeing that, so we built further on that in the form of our chat box. And there were already a lot of subjects made by the Flemish colleagues, and we picked the topics of AI, artificial intelligence, of teamwork, which is very handy when you're starting a new school year and want the kids to get to know each other, and politics, which is a joint venture by the Flemish Mediawijs, VRT, and the Croatians. So those are the topics we picked, and there's many more EDUboxes. So who knows, we might even do some more. And in rebuilding those EDUboxes for our own form, we try to keep the didactical line mostly the same. We kept the 4 parts that were already put out by the Flemish version. So we try to keep the setup mostly the same, but we figured out, of course, we need the Dutch examples. So we put in fragments of Dutch television shows that people might actually know, because although the language is the same, it's both Dutch in Belgium and in the Netherlands, people might not always know the same examples. So we localized it in that way as well. And we found out that schools in the Netherlands, we did know that they used mostly the 15-minute form of lessons. So we had to shorten the EDUboxes because most of them are 2 lesson hours, and we really had to do it in one. And another point of interest for us was making it really accessible. So in building our chat box, we really focused on having it accessible, readability for people with dyslexia, making sure it's accessible for people who might access it with a screen reader. And so we hope we can make this available for a lot of people. And you might want to know what it looks like. Here are some screenshots of how the chat is built up. On the left side, you have like a agenda or a table of contents, if you will. And every chat starts with a welcoming message from one of the experts in AI. As you see here, it's a journalist known by youngsters in the Netherlands who did research for the news outlet already on artificial intelligence. So we picked him as being a spokesperson, and in the different topics, we have different spokespeople who work for well, it works for the topic it's about. So different spokespersons for different EDUboxes. And we have really a mix of contents in the chat. So we have video, we have questions, we have chats, we have interactive little mini games. So we really hope to engage the youngsters in learning about the different topics and keeping them engaged. And I think I'm gonna just dive into it a little bit more so you can experience it in the breakout rooms for yourselves. I have some mini games that also work if you don't speak Dutch. So we'll dive into that a little bit more in the breakout rooms. And for us, what is next is we still have to test the EDUboxes. And based on the testing with youngsters in classes, we are gonna improve on them and hopefully make many more. And I think what's really interesting is the differences between the approaches, because the Flemish have started this BRT and they built an EDUbox based on slides to bring the information out. The Croatians really kept to that form. The translation is there, but they really kept the form. And we chose to adapt the form but keep the same information. So I think it's really interesting to see the difference between our way of adapting and the Croatian way of adapting, which I think is going to be the next presentation.
Indeed, Annique, thanks. And of course, that's why we want to put everybody into smaller discussions shortly, because it's very interesting to get takes from people from other countries about how they see this localization process working for them, and have an opportunity to hear from your experience. So thanks, Annique. You can stop sharing. That's great. And we go to our third and final example, and I'm delighted to welcome Igor Kanižaj, University of Zagreb, who's going to fill us in on what the Croatian experience has been in localizing, in fact, the politics EDUbox. Igor.
Hi, and welcome once again to everybody, especially those coming from Croatia. I see several people in the participants. So I'm really looking forward to our breakout session. And this is just a small teaser while we are reflecting to what we have done together, because this EDUbox on politics is really, really something special, because we were producing it together in comparison to the first two ones that we have contextualized and localized, those on social networks and culture. And we've already tested these two, and we had a great response in the classrooms and from the teachers. So at this level, now we will also focus on the testing of the politics, EDUbox Politics. Several more things to say while we are starting to introduce the new EDUbox on politics. It's not just about translation, although the translation itself is a challenge, and my colleague Stela Lechpammer is also here, and she was responsible for the biggest part of this syntaxes changes, proofreading process, and really some sensitive decisions where we had to choose, will we change the overall understanding of one specific topic at the moment just by intervening in the syntax, which was really huge and important question for us. So it maybe looks like it's something similar to the original version, and it really is, and it consists of 5 different parts, and it is based upon the same activities. But when you go to the origin, you can see that really we have changed a little bit the narrative, and that is maybe an added value that we can definitely see, and the improvement from the first 2 EDUboxes that we have contextualized. What was important for us is and was that it is relatable. So when we are working with the audience, with high school students and with teachers, that they really can identify, and that is a content that they can relate to, that they can find some connection, because politics as a topic is a really hard one. And I think it's maybe the biggest challenge in comparison to all other EDUboxes that Vertech has produced, and this one really brings an added value, but it is hard. It's not easy. And even if you recall from your own experience in your countries, I think there are so many campaigns and public awareness activities where we would like to emphasize the importance of political participation to youngsters, but we fail. And when you look at the turnout and figures, you can see that we have a change and challenge here. But I mean, that's not the most important thing. The most important thing for us was to introduce the main concept and to motivate them to participate. So that's the reason why we have emphasized and paid really huge attention in the first part of the EDUbox, where we are, just like Louis said, introducing the idea of a school party and trying to find connections with the complicated political processes that we are participating in. So if we manage to do this first part, then we believe that everything else that will come up in the next sessions will be easier. So for this reason, we have really paid huge attention to the first part. Furthermore, I would like also to say that we have some challenges here as well in the time that will come in the next few months, as we will really go to the field and we will have free workshops with more than 120 participants in high school. And we will present these results to school teachers and librarians, to almost 800 of them in Croatia in the next few months. So this is really something of a huge importance for us at the Faculty of Political Science, Study of Journalism. As you know, we are the experts in political science, so we believe that even the information that we'll receive from our colleagues teaching political science will be valuable, and we will definitely change maybe some things in the EDUbox. But as I said, we are starting with this first example, and I will then show all other things that are interesting, some videos that we have contextualized in the breakout session, and you will be able also to play one short, simple test to see where you are in relation to politics. Maybe this EDUbox will be of first importance to you personally, and then to all other audiences that you're working with. Thank you all for this short introduction.